Good evening, everyone. Please confirm Ritika, Vanisha, Labiba if I'm audible or not. All right, thank you, Labiba. Vanisha, am I audible? Ritika, okay then. All right, so let's start the session. Okay, so everybody in the previous class, uh, we were discussing about the sundry, sorry, subsidiary book, and in this chapter until now we understood that uh, there are various types of subsidiary book apart from the cash book. We have in fact done questions based on two subsidiary book, purchase book and sales book, and I think I have given you one question based on the sales book as well. So these things we have covered in the previous class. Subsidiary book are broadly classified into two categories: cash book, and then there are other type of subsidiary book. Other subsidiary book include purchase book, sales book, purchase return, sales return, and journal proper. Purchase book, we understood the meaning of the purchase book, then we understood few characteristics or features of the purchase book. Then we did few questions based on the purchase book, and in the last session we have completed the purchase book and then started sales book. And while discussing sales book, I've told you the meaning as well as the features of the sales book. After that, we did a question based on the sales book, and I think I have given you one question for the homework as well. So before proceeding further in this chapter and before starting with any other question, just wanted to confirm if you guys have completed the homework or not. Vanisha, Labiba, Ritika, done with the homework? Labiba, I'm not able to hear you. Could you please speak a little louder, or you can also tell me in the chat section, please. Vanisha, Ritika, what about both of you? Not audible, Vanisha, you're not audible. Please tell me in the chat section. Ritika, let me just check if my earphones are working. Okay, so yeah, now you are audible. Ritika, what about you? Not audible. You're not audible. Labiba, I didn't get your confirmation. Just tell me whether you did this question or not. Anybody want me to solve this question? Okay. All right. So since you all of you have done this question, so I'm moving to the next question now. Now let's talk about the next question. This is the third question based on the sales book. This is relating to January 2018, and question is saying that we need to prepare sales books of Gupta and Company, Kolkata, who deals in furniture. Transaction are given for the date of January 5, 10, January 20, and 20. Considering all these transactions, we need to prepare the sales. All right. So since you already understand the format and you know how actually sales book is prepared, so I want all of you to try this question first. Guys, start with the solution. Start first of all. Let's prepare the format of the sales book and start putting the transaction in the sales book quickly. Let me know the answer as soon as you are done with this question. Is it clear, Vanisha, Ritika, Labiba? Labiba, is it clear to you as well? Will you be able to solve this question? Okay. All right, then start. Everyone. All right, so in this question, the first transaction have taken place on January 5, wherein we have sold goods on credit to Hari and Company, table, chairs. Okay, you need to understand, you need to basically keep in mind that Gupta and Sons deals in what kind of product. So it says in the question that Gupta and Company, Kolkata, who deals in furniture. So main business of Gupta and Company is dealing in furniture. So that means the purchasing, sorry, selling table and chairs comes under the category of goods. So therefore, we will be recording this in the sales book. On January 5, we sold to Hari and Company. We sold 10 tables and at the rate 1100 each. And 20 chairs at 1000 each. Okay, now since we have sold goods, so that means we will be charging CGST, SGST at the rate 6% each, which will be considered as output output taxes. So output CGST at the rate 6%, output SGST at the rate 6% on the value of 31,000, right? So 6% of 31,000 will be 18,000, sorry, 1800, 1860, I guess, yeah, 1860. And now we will total both these value and write this in the final column, which will be equivalent to estimate 31,000 plus 1860 plus 1860. This will be 34720. Got it? Is it clear, everybody? Tell me if it is clear, yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Okay then. So moving on to January 10, sold to Messer Sharma and Company value on credit, Almira Stools, Messer Sharma and Company. Apart from Almira, we have sold 5 stools at the rate 1000 each. $30,000. And since we have sold goods in Delhi, so in that case, we will be charging IGST. So we will write this as add output IGST, which is 12% of the sales value. That means 12 into 30,000 will be 3,600. And adding all these value, we will get 33,600. All right, is it clear, everyone? Is January 10th transaction is clear to everybody? Yes or no? Guys, please tell me
Yes, sir.
if this is clear or not. Yes, okay. All right, next transaction, January 20, sold old typewriter for rupees 600 to Raja and Company, Kolkata on credit. Charge CGST, SGST, 6% each. Tell me whether we should record this transaction in the sales book or not. Tell me whether we should record this transaction in the sales book or not.
No, sir.
No, why not? Because
Sir, because it's a typewriter, sir. Gupta
yeah,
and
because it is a
Company
typewriter
deals
and
with
this
furniture.
Gupta and Company basically deals in furniture. So this is not related to furniture and therefore we won't be recording this under the sales book. All right. Now moving on to the next transaction, which says sold to Messrs. Sohan Lal and Brothers, which is located in Kolkata on credit, 5 tables, one revolving chair. Okay, so both these items comes under the category of furniture, so we will be recording that. All right. So let's record this. January 20, Messrs. Sohan Lal and Brothers. We sold 5 tables at 2,500 each. That means total value of table that we sold is 12,500. Apart from table, we also sold one revolving chair, 5,000 each. So total value of goods sold is 17,500. And upon this, we will be charging CGST at SGST at the rate 6% as well. So add CGST output CGST output SGST 17,500 into 6%, which will be 1,050 and 1,050 as well. Now we will total this. And we will write this here 17,500 plus 1050 plus 1050, which is 19,600. All right, everyone, is this clear? Yes or no? Now, since we have recorded all the transaction, now at the end of this month, on January 31st, we need to also pass a transfer entry. We will transfer this entire amount to the sales account. We will write this as sales account will be credited, since sales account is a revenue account, and whenever revenue increases, we need to credit the revenue account. So now we will total the sales value 34,720. Just a minute. 34,720 plus 33,600 plus 19600, and sum total of this is 87,920. 87920. This will be transferred to the sales account credit side on January 31st. All right, everyone, is this clear? Yes or no? Earlier, in case of the purchase book, we used to transfer the final purchase amount to the purchase account debit side. But in case of the sales book, entire sales book final value is transferred to the sales account credit side. I hope this point is clear, everyone. Tell me if it is clear or not. Is it clear, guys? Why don't you respond? Ritika, Vanisha, Labiba, Zainab.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much. So see, this is the solution of the question. I hope you must have written this down. Everybody done? Shall we move to the next question, please? Okay. Now, since we have done 3 questions based on the sales book, one we did in the previous class, one I gave you as homework, one we did in the today's session. Now we will be starting a new concept, which is regarding purchase return book. All right. So I want everybody to put this heading on your notebook: purchase return, purchase return book. So as the name suggests, purchase return book is what? It is a it is just opposite of purchase book, right? But in case of the purchase book, we used to record the transaction relating to credit purchase of goods. But if it is the purchase return book, in this case, in case of the purchase return book, we will be recording the goods that we have bought earlier on credit, but because of some reason we have decided to return the good. So whenever we are returning the goods that we have bought earlier because of any kind of problem, in that case we need to maintain a record of that return in a book called purchase return book. All right. So we can define the purchase return book as this written on this slide. It says that this book is maintained. Sorry, this is not is. Just okay. So this book is maintained to record the goods or material to the supplier from whom they had been purchased. This book is maintained to record the goods or material to the supplier from return of goods. This should be this book is maintained to record the return of goods. Sorry. Here you should write after the record, you should write return the goods. This book is maintained to record the return of goods or material to the supplier from whom they had been purchased earlier. All right. Then this book is also called, apart from the purchase return book, we also call it return outward or purchase return journal. This is also called return outward or purchase return journal. And goods may be returned because of what reasons? These may be the possible reason. Goods are not as per the sample, goods are not as per the order that we have given, or the goods that we have received are defective, or goods that have been delivered goods 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 have been delivered late, and the customer has refused to accept the delivery. So these are the probable reason on account of which goods can be returned by the buyer. Okay. So let me write down the definition of the purchase return book for you, since there seems to have some mistake on the PowerPoint. So I want all of you to note this in your notebook, please. Meaning of purchase return book. I hope you must have written the headings. You must have put the heading on your notebook, right? Purchase return book. And the definition for the same will be, what is a purchase return book? Purchase return book is a subsidiary book which is used to record the transaction relating to return of goods to the suppliers from whom they had been purchased earlier. Got it, everyone? Is this clear? The definition is clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And as I told you, this is also known as also, what do we call it other than the purchase return book? This is also called return outward book. And also, this is also called purchase return journal. Question can be put up using these names as well. Apart from giving you question wherein question may ask you to prepare the purchase return book, question may also ask you to prepare the return outward or purchase return journal. So in that situation, don't get confused. For return outward book or purchase return journal or the purchase return book is the same thing. All right. Then it comes to the reasons on account of which we can return the good. Reason of returning the goods. Reasons of returning the goods. Maybe what could be the possible reasons? It could be goods is not as per sample, right? So goods can be returned if the goods are not as per the sample shown by the supplier at the time of ordering the goods. Then it could be also, if it is not return can also be placed if the goods is not as per the order or as per the description, not as per order or description. Then because of the defect, if the goods are defective, in that situation also we can return the goods. Or if it is late delivery, because of the late delivery of the goods, we can return the goods. All right, so these could be the possible reason on account of which a goods can be returned to the supplier. All right, now there is one point. You guys are writing this now, everybody? Labiba, Vanisha, Ritika. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Have you written this down? Shall we move to the next point?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now see, you need to understand this very well. See, whenever you want to return the good, in that situation, a note is needed to be prepared. Whenever, let's suppose if we have bought the goods from the supplier earlier, let's suppose this is supplier. The supplier have sold the goods earlier. So this is supplier and this is buyer. So we have earlier purchased the goods. So at the time of purchase, so basically this is purchase for the buyer, but for the seller's point of view, from the supplier's point of view, what is it? It is a from supplier's point of view, it is considered as a sales, right? It is a sales, and it is basically a credit sales. Yes or no? It is a credit sales. So if it is a credit sales, supplier must have recorded that in the sales account, right? And basically, sorry, not if it is the credit sale, then supplier must have opened an account which is called the debtors account, and on that side, okay, just ignore this point. Let's just not get into that. Let's just understand one thing. See, if we have bought good, let's suppose this is purchaser. If this is the buyer, if buyer have bought a particular kind of good, and later because of any discrepancy, any problem, buyer want to return the goods. So at the time of returning the good, he will have to make a note, which is called the debit note. You understand that? This is a debit note. In order to return the goods, purchaser or the buyer will have to prepare a debit note and give this to supplier. This will be given to supplier. What this debit note contains? This debit note contains the information regarding the goods that is being returned. All right, information regarding the return of good, regarding return of good. That means what are the goods or which items are uh, basically which items buyer have decided to return to the seller, and uh, it gives the every detail regarding the goods that we have decided to return to the supplier. So what I'm trying to say here is that whenever we have decided to return the good, we will have to prepare a note. This will be called debit note. And debit note contains the date of return, name of the supplier to whom the goods have been returned, details of the goods being returned. All right. So these kind of information will be shown there in the debit note. Let me show you. This is how debit note actually looks like. This is a debit note. Everybody is able to see this? Labiba, Zainab, Kritika, Vanisha. Yeah. So this is a kind of debit note. Here you can see it's give you the information about the seller. It also give you some information about the buyer, and it shows the detail of the goods which is being returned. All right, and the date on which goods are being returned, and the other detail regarding the seller, or sorry, or the buyer. Okay, so this is how we prepare the debit note. Hello. Labiba, Zainab, Vanisha. Am I audible, everybody?
So your voice was breaking a bit.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So just confirm if the concept regarding the debit note is clear to you. What I was saying is that whenever a buyer want to return the good that he have purchased earlier, he will have to make a debit note, give it to the seller, give it to the supplier. Debit note will contain the detail regarding the goods being returned on the date on which goods is being returned, name of the seller, name of the buyer, every other thing. All right, I hope this point is clear to you. The note that purchaser or the buyer need to make on the date of the return is called the debit note. This is very very important. I hope this is clear to you. Labiba, Zainab, Vanisha, and Pritika.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Quickly note this down so that we can move to the next one. Just tell me whenever you are done. Done, Vanisha, Ritika, Labiba, and Zainab.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I'm writing.
Okay, then do it quickly, Labiba. Done. Shall we move to the next slide now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the format of the debit note. This is how we actually prepare debit note. There is not this picture is not relevant from the exam point of view, since you will not be asked to prepare debit note in the exam. Only the definition of the debit note is required. So as far as the examination is concerned, you need to understand the meaning, and that's it. You don't have to prepare the debit note. And see why it is called a debit note, because the party's account is debited with the amount written in, which means that when we bought when we buy the goods on credit from the party, that that transaction must have been recorded in the purchase account, and whenever we return the goods to the party, that transaction will be recorded in the purchase account debit side. So since purchase account is debited by the amount of the goods being returned, therefore it is known as the debit note. I hope this point is clear to you. Earlier, when we bought the good, the transaction will be recorded on the credit side of the purchase accounts. Since purchase account is a expense account, and whenever expense increases, we need to credit the expenses. So purchase account will increase, but when we return the good, it will reduce. Basically, that transaction will be recorded on the debit side of the purchase account. Therefore, it is called the debit note. All right. Please note this down as well. Please note it quickly.
Done, sir.
Done, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I hope you're done. Okay, so this is the format of the purchase return book, and you don't find any difference in the purchase return book comparing it with the other kind of subsidiary book, like in the sales book, purchase book, and here as well in the purchase return book. Everything seems similar, apart from one extra column, which is called debit note number. Okay, so there is an extra column in this format, date, particular, and apart from ledger folio, we have a like we have a we will have an extra column which is a column for debit note number. However, this question is not very much relevant at the time of solving the question, but this is how we actually prepare the purchase return book. So this is important from the viewpoint of understanding how actually purchase return book actually look like. All right, so debit note number column is not that important or relevant from examination point of view or for solving the questions point of view. All right, so you basically you just uh, try to understand that in case of the purchase return book, we will be making one extra column that will be for debit note number. All right, is it clear, everybody? Is it clear? Yes or no? Yes or no? Everyone,
Yes.
Labiba, Zainab, Alisha, Ritika.
Yes.
Okay. Fine. Okay, so let's do one question based on the purchase return book as well. Okay. It says, we need to record the following transaction in the purchase return book of Kamla store for June 2017. Regarding transaction are given regarding the June 2018. It says return goods to Ramesh Brothers Delhi purchase 5,000 plus CGST as GST at 36% each. Return goods to Suhan Brothers Merit purchase for rupees 10,000 plus IGST. And return goods to Mahesh Brothers of rupees 2,000 plus CGST SGST 2,000 each. And considering all these transactions, we need to prepare the purchase return book. So let's do that quickly. Let's first of all start with the format. Everyone, please start preparing the format of the purchase return book quickly. Purchase return book for Kamla stores. Date of transaction. Name of supplier, or you can also write down particulars. Then an extra column for debit note number. An extra column for ledger folio. And then column for details. And one last column for the final amount. All right. Now we will start recording the transaction relating to month of June, starting with June 6. It says return goods to Ramesh Brothers Delhi purchase for rupees 5,000 plus GST and GST. So we will have to first of all write down the name of the supplier, Ramesh Brothers. Goods, the value of which is 6. Then we will add CGST as GST. %6 on 5,000 will be 300 and 300. All right, everybody. Is this clear? Yes or no? Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then next transaction on June 8. Return goods to Suhan Brothers. Value of goods that we have returned is 10,000. And upon this, we earlier have paid IGST as well, so we will have to add IGST. Which was 12%. Which will be 1,200 on 10,000. Totaling this, we will write down the final value in the last column. That will be 11,200. Done, everyone? Is this clear? Yes or no? Next transaction on June 17. June 17. Mahesh Brothers. We have return goes to Mahesh Brothers of rupees 2000, and we will have to add CGST and GST at the rate 6% each. All right, now total this and tell me whether in which account we will be transferring the entire amount to. Tell me total of all the values: 5600 plus 11,200 plus 2240. This will be, I guess, 19040, right, everyone? Tell me yes or no. And we will be transferring this, the entire amount, on June 30 to purchase return account. And purchase return account will be debited. Purchase return account will be debited. All right, everyone, is this clear? Yes or no? Tell me if it is clear, yes or no.
Yes, sir.
This amount and this account.
Yes, sir.
All right. Then, so this was about the first question based on the purchase return book. Now we will move to the next question. Okay. So in this case as well, we need to prepare a purchase return book of Aruna's stores. Information is given to you, and I hope you will be able to prepare the purchase return book in this case, right? Yes or no? Do you think you will be able to solve this question? Tell me,
Yes,
Labiba, Zainab.
Yes,
Okay
sir.
then. So guys, kindly take the screenshot of this question. Uh, you will be doing this question as the homework. Okay, we will be discussing this question if you are not able to solve this. We'll discuss that in the next class. Done with the screenshot, everybody?
yes, sir.
Done with the screenshot?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, so the next thing uh, in this chapter is sales return book. And since we have only 5 minutes left in this session, so we won't be starting this topic today. We will be covering this in the next class. And because we need to understand few things in it. See, one thing is easier to understand here is that sales return book is just the opposite of the purchase return. Just like in case of the purchase return, we prepare we prepare the purchase return book in a situation wherein we have decided to return the good that we have purchased earlier. Like in this case, in the sales return, in case of the sales return book, what do we actually record? We record the return of goods that have that have been sold earlier. So sales goods that we have sold earlier, and if customer is returning those goods because of any reasons, then such transaction needed to be recorded in the sales return book. So you can understand that purchase return, sorry, sales return is just opposite of the purchase return. In case of the purchase return book, we record the return of goods that we have purchased earlier. In case of the sales return book, we will be recording the goods that has been sold earlier and is being returned by the customer. Okay, so just like the purchase return book, this is also called return inward book, as purchase return book used to be called as the purchase return book, return outward. Sales return is called sales return book is called return inward book, or we can also call it sales return journal. Then we have uh, in this case we need to prepare the credit note, just like the purchase return. That time we were required to prepare the debit note. Here we will be required to prepare credit note. All right, and this is how the format of the sales return book look like. There is an extra column. Instead of debit note, this time we will be making an extra column for the credit note. All right, so this is how a credit note is prepared. This is the format of the credit note. You will find that this is pretty much similar to the debit note, only the name is different. Okay, I hope this is clear, everyone. Is it clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just all right. So we won't be going further. We will talk about sales return and all write all these points in the next class, and cover questions based on the return sales return book in the next class only. Okay then. So this is it for today's session, everyone. We won't be going further in this topic. We will try to finish this chapter in the next class probably. If you have any doubt, you can ask your doubts. Otherwise, we will be ending this session. Labiba, Vanisha, and Ritika, do you want to ask any doubt? No. All right. So,
Yes, sir.
so this is it for today's session. In today's class, we understood the purchase return book, and we did a question based on the sales book as well. And in the next class, probably we will be completing this topic. In fact, we will finish this chapter after doing the sales return, and there is one more subsidiary book, which is journal proper. So we'll try to finish that part as well in the next class. All right. So most probably we will be able to complete this chapter. Okay. So this is it for today's class. Thank you so much, everyone. Now you can leave the session. Goodbye. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Hello.